So it is really late where I am. So it's almost 11 p.m. if it's not 11 p.m. already, but today is the 19th day and I am not breaking my streak. So I wanted to come on and give you something of value today. So there's a question that should you be putting should you be drinking bulletproof coffee or keto coffee or putting butter in your coffee? So this is a trend that really took off when people started when the ketogenic diet became really popular, right? So if you have not heard of this, it is often referred to as keto coffee, and how it's made is that you take coffee, you take a tablespoon of butter, preferably no hormone grass-fed butter. You also take a tablespoon of coconut oil or MCT oil, and you put it all together and you blend it, right? So that's a really important step. I may have to come on live one day and actually show you how to blend keto coffee. You do not just drop butter and oil inside of your coffee and stir it with a spoon. No, 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 no. That is actually pretty nasty. Um, but keep the idea of putting butter in your coffee is not something that's new. It's not something that came along just when people started drinking keto coffee. They actually do this in lots of parts of the world, including places like Kenya and even in places in Russia. And it's been done for thousands of years as a way of increasing energy in the morning time, of people giving themselves an extra boost, of feeling more full than what just regular coffee supplies. But more importantly, the question that I came on to talk about is whether or not you should be doing this on a daily basis. So, the long and short of it's not actually a straightforward answer. It depends, right? So one of the reasons why it had become really popular, wa alaikum salam, Omar. One of the reasons why it became popular with the ketogenic diet is because when you are following a ketogenic method of eating, you have to be conscious that your macronutrients are shifted in a way that your metabolism resets itself, and it's using ketones as opposed to using glucose. And that means that you're trying to get about 70% of your diet from fat. Now, even though that may sound really good and delicious, right? People are like, oh, I can have hot wings and I can have cheese and I can have as much bacon as I want to eat, and I can have as much steak as I want. The thing about eating a true well-formulated ketogenic plan is that it actually can be quite challenging trying to get your fat to 70% while keeping your protein level to 20% or below. So that is the difference between a well-formulated ketogenic plan and people going willy-nilly thinking that they're doing keto just because they're not eating carbs, right? So if you eat bacon, steak, fish all of the time, you're going to have high fat, but you're also going to have really high protein. You actually want to minimize the protein, no more than 20% of your diet from protein. Now, what does that have to do with bulletproof coffee? One of the main reasons why people on a ketogenic diet use bulletproof coffee is to increase the amount of fat they are consuming throughout the day, right? So sometimes it's hard to get your fat levels up to where you need to, and so ketogenic coffee helps with that. The second reason why ketogenic coffee is used is for its increase in ketones. So particularly from using the MCT oil, medium chain triglyceride is what MCT stands for. Often people use coconut oil because coconut oil has MCT oil in it. It's one of the highest natural oils that have MCT in it. But all of the research around MCT oil is actually using the extracted MCT oil, not full coconut oil. So if you are trying to do it for the metabolic benefits, for the brain boosting benefits, you should be using MCT oil, not coconut oil. Just a side note. So, Keto coffee works when you are on a ketogenic plan because your body is able to take the fat inside of that coffee because there is a lot of fat in the coffee. There's a lot of calories. So for an example, a regular cup of black coffee has about 5 calories in it. You add some cream to it, then you can bring it up to maybe 25 calories. But once you add the butter and you add the MCT oil, you're now drinking 250 to 300 calories. You're literally drinking that many calories. You're drinking lots of fat. That could be 20, 30 grams of fat for you, depending on how much you use, right? For someone who is on a ketogenic plan, whose body is using that fat to convert it into ketones, that is a good thing. If you are not following a ketogenic plan, that is not a good thing. So I personally do not recommend people who are not following a ketogenic diet to put butter in their coffee, have bulletproof coffee, have keto coffee, because especially if you are trying to lose weight, because it will backfire on you. It is going to add lots of extra fat to your diet, lots of extra calories to your diet, very little nutrients. So we know that keto coffee has lots of MCT oil, which is good. It has lots of fat, which is good for people on a ketogenic plan, but it's very low in nutrients. You're not getting vitamin A, K, E, C. You're not getting any of that stuff, right? So it's not recommended for people who don't follow a ketogenic plan because it's giving you many more calories than you need to be taking in coffee. It's going to, and it's not giving you nutrients with those calories. If you are following a low-fat plan, or you're still eating rice, even if it's brown rice, bread, even if it's whole wheat bread, and you're eating quinoa, and you're eating all this other stuff, great if that's the plan that you choose to follow, but don't mix and match. And I've talked about this on other lives, right? You don't try to mix and match things that you find on social media. Find a plan and follow a type of plan. If you are going to be ketogenic, find somebody who teaches ketogenic. I teach ketogenic. If you choose not me, then find somebody that you can follow and stick to one way of eating. Don't try to mix what you hear about keto that says, oh, this is great, it helps your brain work better. The reason why it's also called brain coffee, and you hear how well it works for brain function, is because your brain actually functions 25% better on ketones than it does on glucose. So if you're following a ketogenic plan and you are boosting your ketogenic state by having keto coffee and putting butter and MCT oil in it, it is going to help you with your mental clarity, with your focus, with your brain power, because your body is using ketones, not because there's butter in your coffee. So the long and short of it is ketogenic coffee or butter coffee or bulletproof coffee, whatever term you want to use, meaning you're using coffee, you're putting MCT oil or coconut oil, you put in butter in it. It is great if you are following a ketogenic plan. If you are not following a ketogenic plan, it is not recommended. So if you are of the glucose burning metabolism persuasion, then I do not recommend that you start putting butter in your coffee. Okay, so hopefully that was helpful. I will talk to you tomorrow, and hopefully we can talk a little bit more more extensively about other things. If you have any questions, you can DM me, you can put them in a comment, and I'll try to get to them tomorrow, all right? Good night, people. I am to bed now. I had a very busy day. It was very productive though, alhamdulillah. And I will see you tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum.